Story continues. I'm sorry, teacher, I've disappointed you, said Xuesang. It's okay. Being able to compete with people from the upper realm, I, as your teacher, am already very proud of you. Besides, your strength is no less than him, but you slackened and fell into his trap, said Yebei. Shortly after, a red ball appeared in the sky, and Xuesang was surprised to see it. She then told her teacher about the surprising thing. This must be the soul of the person earlier who was shattered and turned into the thick immortal, replied Yebei. Xuesang then quickly grabbed it, but unexpectedly, the ball bounced right as her hand touched it. The next moment, the ball shot off as if sucked into the hand of someone else who had just arrived, who turned out to be Xiaoxiang. These things are from the upper realm. How could you, people from the lower realm, want them, he said, and a surprise then appeared with Tianli coming out from behind his back. Teacher, long time no see, she said, making Yebei and Xuesang very surprised, although they already knew she was their student. Why don't you recognize me, teacher? When you see this, you will remember a little. Tianli pulled out a spiritual snake that flew out and sprayed a thunderball right in front of Yebei, who could easily erase it. I will not forget the person who dared to betray me. You do not deserve to call me teacher anymore, Yebei replied. Did I betray you first, or did you ignore me first? Tianli became very angry. Xuesang then asked why she could become like that, and Tianli replied, You ask why? Didn't you force me to do this now? At that time, the teacher took out the golden pill and secretly told me that it was for me because I was the most obedient, the most talented, and the hardest worker. At that time, I thought it was true, but then I found out that it was something special for me, and what I wanted most was just jelly for you guys. Now, I am no longer like before, and I want you to pay back everything you did to me. Tianli then pulled out a very large and powerful spiritual ball, and Xuesang screamed, trying to stop her. Tianli, no, that's your Tao of greed, it doesn't fit at all, she said. Stupid girl, forget it. Go aside. She has been blinded by hatred. She is my student, so I will take care of her. And Tianli, I am your teacher. If you are willing to come back, maybe I can forgive you, Yebei said, looking concerned. Persuade me to come back now? Teacher, I'm afraid you don't meet the criteria now, Tianli replied, then threw her spiritual ball, and it flew towards Yebei, showing her intention to kill. Tianli, I told you that the only taboo from a Tao of greed the most is greed itself. The more anxious you are, the easier it is to go the wrong way. Yebei then pulled out a shield to protect himself, but unexpectedly, a small black snake then appeared and wrapped around his body. The greedy snake was installed beforehand. Damn, the power of the captured person will be absorbed by the release spell until their strength is exhausted, and they die, Yebei said. Ha ha ha, maybe you can still free yourself, but now I've gained the power of the Heiyuan pill, so even if it's the peak of the Sun Emperor, it won't be able to break free. Teacher, this is the last time I will call you like this, Tianli said before her attack hit Yebei, resulting in a very strong explosion. The next moment, the dust began to settle and a very deep hole was seen in the area of the explosion. Yebei killed Xiang's representative. I thought he was a great character, but now all worries are gone without me taking any action. It's true that people from the lower realm can't make any sparks. Finish off the rest, said Xiaoxiang. Tianli then immediately went to Xuesang, holding a grudge against her. Senior sister, I'm afraid it's too late to leave now, she said. Hey little girl, do you think you can kill your teacher alone? Xuesang threw a ball of destruction that resulted in a very strong explosion that even eroded the ground, but unexpectedly, Tianli appeared right behind her. My senior sister is very strong, but I am stronger now, she said, then wrapped her snake around Xuesang, who was too surprised to react. Luo Xuesang, it turns out that you're only that much. Your powerful Tao of destruction was something special, but now it won't be useful to me. I don't know if the teacher in the underworld will recognize you as a disciple again, said Tianli, who then bound Xuesang even tighter. At the same time, a strong aura emerged from the hole created by Tianli, which surprised her and also gave Xiaoxiang a bad feeling. The next moment, a wave of aura came out of the hole, surprising Tianli again because it was Yebei who attacked her. Yebei then immediately caught Xuesang, carrying her like a princess. Impossible, how can you still be alive after being trapped by my greedy snake? You should have withered and died by now, said a heavily shocked Tianli. Little girl, I gave you many chances to hope you could come back, but you kept touching my foolish girl and repeatedly deceiving and hurting your friends, replied Yebei. Don't talk nonsense, just come here. This time you won't be as lucky as before, Tianli shouted, unleashing a stronger snake that shot towards Yebei, but with just one finger flick, Yebei managed to stop the snake. Why isn't the black snake moving? I've never faced a situation like this before. Could it be that Yebei's realm is really able to hold back my black snake? Tianli then bit her finger, activating a stronger formation. Don't underestimate me, she shouted as her snake turned red. You think you're strong, but you're nothing. Yebei activated his highest demon bone, exploding with a much stronger dark aura that corroded the red snake. What you're most proud of is the Tao of greed that can absorb other people's power. It's this Tao of greed that led you down the wrong path, and now I will take it back, said Yebei. Just try if you can, Tianli countered, channeling more spiritual energy to fight him until the end, and in response, Yebei used his ability to share disciples' powers and chose the Tao of greed. Okay, this is really strange, because Yebei shouldn't have received the announcement of the meeting with Tianli. Perhaps there is another student who has the same Tao as Yebei, whatever that is. Then, a black greed snake suddenly appears. Essentially, it is the same power as Tianli's, but Yebei's snake is much stronger. Yebei's snake bites Tianli's snake and sucks its spiritual power. No, my Tao of greed seems to be devoured. Tianli panics, and in the next moment, his snake is completely devoured. The system then announces a special reward for the increase in Tao of greed in the form of Great Emperor's skill. Tianli falls to the ground helpless in front of Yebei, while Xiaoxiang immediately opens a dimensional gap. Very useless, even after taking the Heiyuan pill, you're still so weak that you can't beat Yebei. I don't want to be with you anymore, he says, and Shuesheng immediately chases after him. Do you want to run away after using Tianli as bait? It won't be that easy, she says. Hey, I may not be able to deal with Yebei, but I can still handle you, can't I? Xiaoxiang activates the formation, but at the same moment, Yebei appears behind him and throws him into his own small realm without any resistance. Afterwards, back to the business of the teacher and disciple, Shuesheng asks Yebei, do we really have to kill Tianli? Yebei thinks for a moment, and unexpectedly a dimensional gap appears in the sky along with a very strong aura. Where is this eternal god's disciple? Someone who has just arrived asks. Eternal god and disciple? This familiar arrogant tone belongs to Lord Fuxing and Xingfu, Shuesheng says confused. What is the name of your disciple? I cannot remember the names of trash people, Yebei replies. The little ant dares to provoke me. You don't know how to live and die, someone says, and then unleashes a spiritual palm strike. As luck would have it, I have lived and died a few times. Why don't you help me remember? Yebei counters, and an explosion occurs from the collision of their attacks. Master, if you can't handle it alone, it's better for me to join you, Shuesheng says. It's okay. The power of this eternal god is nothing more than that. Can he defeat your master? Yebei replies. No, too much commotion will bring punishment, and I don't have much time left to stay. Coincidentally, this kid's talent is better, even better than Tianli's. He's a good candidate to be a vessel. If he can surrender to me, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, the eternal god thinks. Young man, I'm impressed with your body. You're a good seed among 10,000 people. If you're willing to call me master, I can forget about the previous problem, and this treasure will also be yours, he says, showing a scroll of a woman controller, making Yebei's soul tremble, while Shuesheng feels embarrassed. I'm sorry, I was wrong. The correct one is this. Eternal God pointed to another scroll containing the strongest training technique from the fairy world. Silence ensued due to his silly behavior. Unfortunately, I prefer to be a teacher to others in my life, so I am worried you will be disappointed, Yebei replied. Oh well, too bad, but if I don't return soon, I will lose 300 years of Taoism, Eternal God thought. Okay, I will let you go today, but you have killed 2 of my students, so at the next meeting, I will kill you, Eternal God said before leaving. Shuesheng was very surprised to see him leave like that, and she then looked at her junior and was very surprised to find out that Tianli had disappeared. Did he make such a big fuss just to let Chou Tianli escape? Shuesheng asked. It's not to let Chou Tianli escape, but to bring Chou Tianli. If she doesn't leave, she won't be there, Yebei replied. But what's the point of bringing Chou Tianli for him? Shuesheng asked. And Yebei answered that Xiaoxiang would surely know. Let's go meet him now, Yebei said before leaving for the empty realm where Xiaoxiang was bound by chains and unable to move. Yebei then reached out his hand to read his memories. A flashback was seen, and there was one interesting thing there where it turned out that Tianli had already captured several other Yebei students. However, I will never lose. Even if I die, the good Yebei students will be in my hands, and they will repay me by making him feel the betrayal and deception that is more painful than death, Tianli said in Xiaoxiang's memory. If my students are so easily conquered, they won't be called cultivators, Yebei said. Master, Junior's sister, are they in danger? Xuesang asked. It's uncertain whether what Tianli said is true or not, and now the only way to find out the truth is to find her first, Yebei replied. But Master, now the path to the upper realm is closed, and we have to wait until the next person to ascend. But after you, I am afraid there will be no one else who can ascend for the next 100 years. At that time, Junior's sister will be in a more dangerous situation. I am worried, Xuesang said. Don't worry, I am thinking of someone, but little girl, do something for me first, Yebei replied. What they were talking about was the fairy stairway that appeared before when Yebei broke through. Of course, to open it, a very strong person is needed. Even Xuesang, who successfully broke through to the Emperor's Sun realm, couldn't open it. In the process, the level of cultivation doesn't seem to matter much because Yebei, who broke through to the Great Emperor realm, was able to open it, meaning that it requires someone very strong and chosen by heaven itself. But Yebei has one person who might be suitable, and that's more or less the situation. The scene opens with Emperor Gamo shown meditating inside the 9th floor of the Time Tower. Shortly after, he opens his eyes as he realizes that someone has come. Who are you? Get out. Those who can come to the 9th floor of the Time Tower are surely not ordinary people, he shouts. It turns out that the person who came is none other than Xuesang, who came at Yebei's request, but Xuesang does not explain anything. Why don't you respect this elder? Don't blame me for being rude, Emperor Gamo says as he releases his spiritual power. The next moment, a thunderball shoots towards Xuesang, who manages to dodge it by jumping. Why is this person's movement so familiar? Emperor Gamo thinks. Who are you? How can you perform that move? Emperor Gamo asks, but Xuesang remains silent. You don't talk? Alright then, don't blame me this time. There is no second person in this world who can escape from my vortex, Emperor Gamo then launches an attack. Xuesang responds by using the power of the destruction Dao. A tremendous clash occurs between their powers and slowly but surely Emperor Gamo's attack begins to overpower Xuesang's attack, but at the same time Yebei immediately stops it. Emperor Gamo is clearly very surprised to see him and Yebei then greets him, and Emperor Gamo returns his greeting. He then asks who the person next to Yebei is. This is my first disciple, Xuesang. I just told her to kill you, Yebei replies. Emperor Gamo is shocked to hear that, and he is confused about what Yebei really means. Yebei then repeats his sentence. I said I told her to kill you, he says, and Emperor Gamo immediately punches him. Were you helping me from the beginning? Is everything already arranged, he says, and Yebei answers if that's true. Damn it, it's my fault for trusting you and treating you as a great benefactor of our clan. It was a completely wrong payment, Emperor Gamo says, clearly very angry, but on the other hand, he is still confused. Just forget it, go there because you saved me. I won't fight you today, Emperor Gamo says. Ha ha ha, don't be angry, I was just joking. I came to help you level up, Yebei responds. Huh? Help me level up? What you want is to send me to the realm of death, Emperor Gamo replies. Isn't this to understand your current situation? Besides, killing you is useless to me, Yebei answers, Yebei confused because Emperor Gamo is really angry. This elderly person has reached the peak of the Sun Emperor, and that is only one step away from ascending to the next realm. It will take several hundred years, and I don't need your help, he said. Well, that's true, but I now have a reason to go to the upper realm, and someone has to climb the eternal stairway before I can open the upper realm. I have thought about it, and now on the deep sky continent, you are the closest to ascension, so, Yebei interrupted. Hey, why didn't you say there was a great battle before? Although there is only a thin line between the peak realm and ascension, it may take hundreds of years to break through, and I'm afraid I won't be able to help you now, Emperor Gamo replied. Don't worry about that. If you want, I can help you ascend right now, Yebei replied. Huh? We're talking about ascension, right? Why does he make it sound so easy? Emperor Gamo was naturally surprised, but in the end, he agreed to Yebei's plan. In short, they then moved to the Holy Land of Tianxia, where Emperor Gamo stood on two circles that were the center of spiritual energy flow in the Holy Land of Tianxia. It seemed that Emperor Gamo had finished meditating with the help of Yebei's demon inscription. Yebei then asked him, "Are you ready?" Emperor Gamo replied, "My demon clan has not ascended for 10,000 years. Today, whether it succeeds or not, this old man will try." The 49 origins of misery finally arrived, and Yabe clenched his fists. A shield appeared around Emperor Gamo as a form of assistance, blocking the first origin of misery. Hey, the thunder misery of ascension is really different. 10,000 years have passed, and finally, I will ascend, Emperor Gamo said, and one by one, the thunder misery struck, but Yabe's shield was able to withstand them all. Master, are we going to separate? Xueseng asked. Foolish girl, I will explore it first, and after I take care of everything, I will come back for you. I will come for you when I find a way to unlock the power of the law, Yabe replied, calming his foolish girl. If only I were stronger than I am now, I could go to the upper realm with my master. Sooner or later, I will stand in the same position as my master and become his most solid supporter, unlike now. Yabe replied, Hey, foolish girl, it's unclear whether what Tianli said is true or not. You try your best to ask about your other junior sisters, and I will go to the upper realm to find their whereabouts. I'm inside, and you're outside. Let's work together. Meanwhile, the stronger thunder misery began to come. Emperor Gamo, who couldn't take it anymore, asked for Yabe's help, and Yabe swiftly struck a blow that hit Thunder's misery, which turned out to be at last and exploded it, ending the challenge of breaking through. Yabe, I have heard about you destroying the eternal staircase, but seeing it with my own eyes still surprises me. Approaching death is indeed scary, said Emperor Gamo. Yabe then thanked him, and shortly after, the fairy gate appeared in the sky. But why is it black? Xueseng asked confused. They then approached to inspect it closely, but it should have been the same as the gate that had previously appeared. I didn't expect the pressure from this fairy gate to be so strong, said Emperor Gamo. This fairy gate doesn't look different from the last time it appeared, but why is the color different? Perhaps because Old Man Gamo is of demon race, so the ascension channel has changed. Old Man Gamo, let me help you because this is the way to the upper realm, and the most vulnerable point of the fairy gate should remain the same. Let's start with the reincarnation of purifying fire, and focused power on the weakest point of the fairy gate is the key. Yabe then struck the fairy gate with his black fire. Emperor Gamo was shocked to see the extraordinary power. Actually, forcing our way through, if I go to the upper realm with Yabe, I will easily go there, and the priceless Jade Pavilion wine, the abundant immortal clan's priceless treasure, our demon clan's immortality will finally rise again. Alright, Yabe, I'm here to help you, Emperor Gamo said enthusiastically to enter the fairy gate, but Yabe's attack was more than enough. The fairy gate cracked, and the next moment, a dimensional rift appeared behind it, sucking everything in like a black hole due to the damage to its entrance channel. Emperor Gamo was sucked into it and asked for Yabe's help, and Yabe immediately pursued him after throwing Xueseng back and asking her to take care of her younger siblings. Yabe finally entered the dimensional rift, and the next second, it closed by itself, and Yabe fell into a settlement that looked like an ordinary human settlement. Is this the upper realm? There's no trace of Old Man Gamo. Was he taken elsewhere through the rift? Yabe wondered. While a commotion was happening right in front of him, come on, hurry up and move or I'll break your legs, someone who seemed to be a guard said. What are you looking at? If you lose, you will become a slave in our arena, and you will never be able to escape from here again, another person said, followed by someone else who looked at Yabe and said, Hey, you who just arrived, quickly take your belongings, he said. Let me do it. The quality of these newcomers is too poor. Only a few of them meet the cultivation standard. I don't know where this unlucky person comes from, but he looks quite healthy, doesn't he? Name, race, origin, hurry up report, he said. While Yabe remained silent, the person became angry and was about to hit him, urging him to answer quickly. Yabe then kicked him in response, saying even small rats are worthy of questioning this god. How audacious, and the person then begged for forgiveness. Little master, this little one can take you to the reception hall and the arena, he said, making Yabe confused. He asked what it meant, and the person explained that all demon races who ascend must go to the game arena to play games in order to obtain resources. The strong will survive, and the weak will be eliminated. Losing or running away from the game will result in death in the end, he said, which essentially meant it was like a gladiator arena. It seems that what is called Tao and ascension to heaven is not for people's pleasure, but to maintain the balance of power between each interface. I am afraid that many people from the lower realms who have positions will become trash when they ascend. The gap is so far, I don't know what will happen to Emperor Gamo, Yabe thought as he decided to leave. The person then escorted him until they reached a gate with a terrifying skull logo. Sir, this is the place. After entering and registering, you can get tokens to play the game, he said. But the arena is not a good place. Let's see if you're still okay later, the person thought, and they went in. Afterwards, the person announced the arrival of a newcomer, and it turned out to be a trap. This demon's power is good and has already reached the peak of Emperor Sunday. After domains Dekasi, it will definitely be sold at a good price, someone said, selling Yabe. Another person who looked like a boss then rewarded him, and someone in a yellow shirt accepted it happily. Yabe laughed, because it turned out that the upper realm was also so dark, while the two guards then intimidated him. This is your blessing. The nobleman will sell you to the Shindy, they said. Really? Blessing was kidnapped and sold by demon dealers. I doubt any demon would dare to ask for her, Yabe replied. Stop talking nonsense, obey me, shouted the boss. Alright, if that's the case, there's only one way. Yabe then used the power of the Greed Dao to summon a black snake that coiled around the guards. They screamed as their powers were drained, but they couldn't do anything. You only want to be a demon dealer with that kind of power? It's truly shameful for the demon world, said Yabe. Shameful? Young man, don't be too happy yet. Let me see what kind of monster you are, replied the boss as he stretched his staff and a formation circle appeared beneath Yabe along with a chain. Ghost formation, I haven't seen the light of day in a long time. I'm afraid this formation is thirsty for blood. You have to be careful, said the boss. So annoying. I just wanted to register, but you want to kill me and destroy your shop. Yabe then used the highest demon's bone and in an instant, the black chain disappeared, burned by fire. The boss fell to the ground in shock, not expecting a Sun Emperor to escape. Hey, there's no difference between humans and demons, they're just trash. Yabe then switched to the destruction Dao and a tremendous explosion leveled the surrounding area, including the boss and his guards. Well, since this is a demon cellar, there should be many kidnapped demons that can be used to improve my barren little world. Yabe then walked straight ahead until he found a room. He went inside and sure enough, it was a prison. There were so many of them that Yabe was very happy and a voice cried out for help. People then flocked to the location out of curiosity. Meanwhile, on the other side, Yabe walked out of the shop and there were two people waiting for him, asking if he was the one who had killed all the demons inside. But these demons really destroyed the aura of the demon shop, which has made the owner of the pavilion dizzy for a long time. It seems difficult to deal with. And maybe he can fight the new crazy king in the arena, someone thought. He then stopped Yabe, who was about to leave, and ignored him. Yabe threatened to kill him if he didn't move aside, and he then saluted. Don't misunderstand, I'm the captain of the law enforcement team in the Nantion arena, and we won't do anything to you, he said. Oh, why don't you do anything? I have killed hundreds of demons, Yabe replied. It's alright, sir. They are just trash. How could we harm a talented demon like you? It's too late to recruit you, but I hope you can become the boss of the Nantion arena. If you can destroy the demon figures and the shopkeeper who is connected to the virtual realm by yourself, as a genius like you can block the turbulent power of the Sanluo arena, he said. However, Yabe was not interested and left. Sir, many people dream of joining us in the Nantion arena. There are many rare treasures and training techniques that you can obtain. Someone tried to convince Yabe, but Yabe remained uninterested. I still have to find someone. If you keep bothering me, don't blame me for being rude, Yabe replied. Sir, if you destroy the demon shop, you will offend the entire Tianluo Shindy. Even if you leave here today, they will never let you go, someone threatened Yabe, and Yabe immediately grabbed his neck. You mentioned Tianluo Shindy? What do you mean? Yabe asked. Sir, we have never dared to mention the old Yutang story because it is in harmony with Tianli Shindy. Now that you have destroyed it, you can seek refuge under the protection of the Nantion arena, someone replied. Tianli Shindy? Today is really chaotic, Yabe muttered while someone was still trying to persuade him. Instead of going to the celestial immortal land alone, it's better to use this Nantion arena to move step by step. Alright, Yabe finally accepted the offer. I will take you to meet our old pavilion master first, someone replied, and Yabe told him to lead the way. Several days passed quickly, and Yabe finally arrived at the pavilion to meet with the Nantion arena master. No wonder they forced me. It turns out that no one in the Nantion arena supports competition, Yabe thought. Apart from the Nantion arena, there are 3 other arenas competing in a competition, and that is why the losing group will be oppressed, which is why someone invited Yabe to join. Okay, back to Yabe. He is now facing the Nantion arena master, and Yabe introduced himself. The Nantion Arena master then shouted, and at the same time, an extraordinary shockwave was created, and the pressure generated could be felt outside the pavilion, but even so, Yebe did not flinch. Void Realm, huh? It's stronger than I imagined. If I fight directly, it will be difficult to win, thought Yebe, while the floor beneath him cracked. Is this really the Emperor's son's realm? He wasn't injured at all when facing my attacks, thought Master Nantion. Good, very good. What kind of monster are you? How many times have you pushed your physical limits? Master Nantion asked. Humans and demons are always in conflict with each other. If he knows that I'm not a demon, he'll be angry, so let's just lie, thought Yebe. I come from a monkey race from a distant planet. Pushing my physical limits? What is that? He replied. What do you mean you haven't pushed your physical limits yet? Master Nantion grabbed Yebe's shoulder, making him panic because the touch seemed to reveal someone's strength. Yebe immediately used his disciple-sharing ability and transformation mysteries creation. His spirit appeared in the form of a gorilla, and Master Nantion believed him. Yebe felt relieved because his disguise was successful. Note that the disguise here only referred to the form of his spirit because Yebe had not yet broken through his physical limits. The demon race mentioned here was more like a monster, so even monkeys were considered part of the demon race. Master Nantion laughed, praising Yebe for his abundant power. I apologize, but I am not well versed and I have never heard of physical limits. Perhaps the pavilion master would like to explain? Yebe replied. Physical limits are a treasure with unlimited potential. The human race relies on the soul, while our demon clan relies more on the physical body. After breaking through the Emperor's realm, every demon race can break through their physical limits. For the first breakthrough, you must find the treasures of heaven and earth with the 5 attributes of gold, wood, fire, water, and earth. Use these 5 elements to extract your physical limits and run the secret method to break them. After successfully breaking through your physical limits for the first time, your physical strength will multiply. Master Nantion said. In essence, the difference was that previous cultivation only increased internal energy or magic power, while this time it truly increased physical strength. So if it can be done 5 times, is it possible to tear apart heavenly tribulation with bare hands? Yebe asked. 5 times? Those who can break through 4 times have defied the heavens, Master Nantion replied. Is that so? Then I'll break through it 4 times first, Yebe replied, making Master Nantion very surprised. Little brother, although your talent is rare, it takes a lot of time to break through your physical limits, and even for the first time, it takes at least half a year. Not many can break through 4 times in their lifetime. Yebe replied, so you don't think I can do it? Master Nantion answered, it's not that I don't believe in you, but the last group in our competition will appear in 8 hours, so it's too late. 8 hours is enough. If you don't believe it, let's prove it, Yebe then left. Master Nantion tried to stop him by taking out something from his hand, perhaps a bag of money or maybe an item. Whatever it was, Yebe took it and said goodbye to prepare for the competition. Yebe then went to the 9th floor, where time flowed 2,000 times faster than the outside world, and at least 8 hours there was equivalent to 2 years inside. As a note, the core of the time tower itself was already inside Yebe's body, so he did not leave the fairy world but may have dived into his subconscious. Yebe then opened the bag given by Master Nantion, which turned out to contain a practice book. He read it, but in the middle of the page, there was a tear. A pirated book in the upper world? How many pages are still missing? Well, forget about it. It won't affect the purification of this treasure, Yebe said. He then continued with his meditation. Time passed quickly, and the result was successful, marked by the appearance of the yin-yang symbol. Shortly afterward, unexpectedly, a girl named Lu Feng, who was his student, appeared in front of him, which surprised Yebe greatly. Not only her, but there were also 3 other students who were captured by Tianli. They suddenly appeared, causing Yebe to have a nosebleed. The 4 girls then teased Yebe, but he quickly understood the situation and tried to refocus because he knew it was just an illusion. I understand that the missing pages in the book are the core of breaking through the limits. It's not just physical, but also the spiritual strength of humans that will break through the limits, said Yebe. Well, it's all part of the breakthrough. A large monument then appeared, indicating that the concept of focus in alchemy also applies to physical breakthroughs, and in the end, Yebe succeeded in breaking through to stage 4, as he desired. While Yebe finally finished his meditation, the competition was about to start and someone from the Nantion Arena began to panic because they couldn't find Yebe anywhere. There was less than half an hour left before their turn, and in the meantime, the other competition was won by Shinran Huang from the Shenluo arena. Everyone cheered for him because he was a highly regarded participant who had been mentioned as having much greater strength than the other competitors. "Sir, what should we do now?" The competition ended early, someone from the Nantian arena asked. "Relax, I'm sure he's not the type of person who's greedy for money. Let's just wait for him," Master Nantian replied. Meanwhile, the referee announced the next competition and invited a representative from the Nantian arena to enter, but Yebei did not show up. "It's all my fault. I brought a thief into our house. Who would have thought he would escape under our noses?" Someone from the Nantian arena began to regret. The referee continued to call Yebei's name, but he did not appear even after time had run out. The referee then announced the elimination of the Nantian arena, and at that very moment, our missing hero finally appeared. Strangely enough, Shinran seemed very surprised to see him and felt a sense of familiarity, and Yebei felt the same way despite not knowing who he was. They looked at each other, but eventually remained silent. Shinran then used his clairvoyant eyes, but still could not find anything. "Who is this person? I can't even see his real face with my soul-searching technique," he thought, even though Yebei was not using any disguise. People then started to shout insults at Yebei for daring to look at Shinran. From their point of view, Yebei was just an unclear person who appeared out of nowhere. But Yebei's opponent this time was not Shinran, but a group of people from a different group. Shinran simply left the arena. The competition then began. "I hate people like you. Unlike your great king, you came here alone today," a girl said. "Brother, show your strength to society so you won't be ashamed in the future when you go outside from your house," said a man who was a spectator of the competition. Just as they said, it seems that the number of competition participants was allowed to be more than one, although Yebei chose to come alone. A group of demons then began to attack, and in response, Yebei released 2 highest-level demon fires from both of his hands. He threw the fires, and a black fire explosion covered the view. When the dust cleared by itself, all the demons that had attacked had disappeared in an instant. People were surprised to see the instant kill, and some girls began to idolize Yebei because he was quite handsome. On the other hand, the referee announced the end of the match as one of the opponents chose to surrender, but Yebei approached the man, seemingly ignoring the announcement. The referee reminded him that the match had ended, but Yebei still approached and said, "Don't kill me, 3 big, can move forward, you've already won," he said fearfully. "Then why should I hold you and compete with you in the next competition?" Yebei replied, "I'm just an ordinary person. I came to see the world. Who knew everyone was so cruel and even killed each other? Please don't kill me. I will definitely surrender when I meet you in the next competition. Also, my family is very wealthy. I can give you anything you want," said Yebei's opponent. "But it's not impossible to let you live. It depends on how you behave," replied Yebei. The man immediately stood up and announced to everyone that Yebei was now his boss and a generous philanthropist of the Xingshu clan. He warned that anyone who dared to offend Yebei would be offending the Xingshu clan as well. Everyone was surprised by this, while Xingshu himself quickly escorted Yebei out and even arranged a luxurious private room for him, completely loyal like a faithful dog. Seeing this, Shinran became even more curious about Yebei, although he did not make any special moves afterwards. On the other side, someone from the Nantian arena came to meet Yebei to deliver a gift from the master. Xingshu informed him that it was probably one of the 5 eternal precious world rings or world fairy rings. Yebei accepted the gift and thanked him for the book that was given earlier, and the person from Nantian left. But don't be fooled by the captain of the law enforcement and the Nantian master, Boss Yi. Although the ring and its contents are very valuable, there is a greater prize in this competition that is still a secret, so let's put it aside for now, said Xingshu. Yebei asked what he meant, and Xingshu explained that there was a bigger prize in the competition that was still kept secret. Time passed quickly, and the competition finally resumed. All the remaining participants gathered in the arena to draw numbers. There were 7 participants left out of the initial 14, including Xingshu, who should have been defeated by Yebei earlier. The other 7 participants were likely dead, meaning that the previous match was only like an opening match. Xingshu asked Yebei what number he got, and it turned out to be the bonus number 7, which immediately qualified him for the semi-finals. He was very surprised at Yebei's good luck, as were the other participants who thought the same thing. But even if he enters the final by luck at the end, he will surely be killed by Shinran, they said. Xing Shu warned Yebei to be careful, as all the participants were very strong, especially Shinran Huang, who appeared out of nowhere a year ago and was unbeatable. The competition was even more chaotic because it seemed like he was the one who had to win the championship. Although the prize for the champion was not cheap, it shouldn't have been so chaotic, he said. If he tries so hard, maybe he's either an idiot in martial arts or there's something in the champion prize that he must get, Yebei replied. After that, the referee announced that the competition would use a knockout system, and 7 participants would fight 2 against 2, except for Yebei, who would advance to the semifinals. However, Shinran interrupted, saying that the rule was too complicated and proposed to use a battle royal system instead, 1 against 6. Is he crazy? He's treating us like weaklings, one of the participants said. But he's the strongest one here. The 6 of us will work together and kill him. Then we will have a big chance to fight in the top 3. If we go 1 by 1, I'm afraid we won't make it to the final, another person replied, and they all agreed to cooperate to win the competition. The referee eventually agreed with their wishes, and was about to start the competition, but Yebei immediately expressed his disagreement. I got a pass number. Why do I have to fight? I disagree, he said. People considered Yebei as someone who relied on luck. Okay, because he's lucky enough to get a pass number, he doesn't need to participate in this round. He can go straight to the final and fight against 1 or 2 winners from this round, Shinran said. The referee then asked if anyone else objected, and Yebei answered no. He then left on his own, but everyone else just remained silent. Alright, in this case, the competition mode has been changed to Battle Royal, and 2 winners can get a spot in the final. Now I announce that 2 competitions officially begin, the referee shouted, raising his hand. Suddenly, someone released an ice thorn that locked Shinran's movement. The other 3 black-clothed participants quickly attacked Shinran together, resulting in a powerful explosion. The dust settled, and a green flash was seen flying towards the 3 black-clothed participants, killing them instantly. The referee announced it, followed by cheers from the audience. Meanwhile, the man in purple clothes pulled out Xing Shu's clothes and threw it towards Shinran. However, Shinran ignored it and let it pass. The next moment, the man in purple clothes thrust a spiritual sword towards Shinran, but he caught it. Victory was already in Shinran's hands, or so he thought, but it turned out to be a trap. Thorn suddenly emerged from the spiritual sword and pierced his hand, which surprised him greatly. The man in purple clothes then took out another sword, but Shinran remained unfazed. Do you think anyone can stop me from winning first place? Shinran said, and then unleashed his power, striking the man with a palm attack. Yebei was very surprised because it was an empty palm attack, but it hit the man in purple clothes directly. After that, the man in purple clothes disappeared without a trace, and Shinran declared his victory. However, there was still one more opponent, said the referee. Shinran turned his gaze towards Xing Shu, making him scared, and he immediately surrendered. But as if Shinran wanted to kill him, the referee ran away and declared that the competition was still ongoing. Shinran really intended to kill him, but suddenly someone threatened him with telepathy, let him go, or those present will soon know that you are not a demon, which was likely Yebei. Indeed, Shinran agreed to let him live. The referee fell silent for a moment at the statement before deciding that both of them would enter the final. Xing Shu laughed in disbelief, not expecting to make it to the final, despite only being a clown. They rested and prepared for the final fight, but Shinran left to a certain place first as Yebei contacted him telepathically. Yebei appeared before him. Who are you? How dare you accuse me of not being a demon? Shinran asked, if it were an accusation, you wouldn't be here, would you? Yebei replied. Say what you want, asked Shinran. Yebei answered, I want you to surrender in the final and let me win the championship. Shinran replied, sure, but it depends on you. Can you afford it or not? He then drew his sword, and a fierce clash ensued between their attacks, but that was all. This person is very strong. Damn it, I'm afraid I only have a chance of winning 3 points. Well, it's okay. A hero doesn't suffer direct losses. I'll talk about it when I recover, Shinran thought. You can have the first place, but I want a spot in the secret realm, Yebei said. Why are you giving up so quickly? Even if you say no, I'll still have everything, Yebei replied. Then if you insist on robbing me, just step over my dead body first. Yebei laughed at that because he really looked a lot like his 3rd disciple named Linfeng. Yebei had realized this from the beginning because it turned out that the main prize of the competition was a spot in the secret Eternal Realm, which was a place of ancient battlefields with unlimited opportunities. There was even a pill that could directly upgrade an emperor's realm to the Void Realm, but there was one thing that was even more special than that, namely the legendary Tao of Life and Death that could revive the dead. That's the main point of why Yabe thought Shinran was actually his disciple, because all his previous disciples had similar goals, but Yabe only said it in his heart, so the truth is still unknown. Time passed quickly, and the final round had arrived. The referee announced the 3 contestants, namely Shinran, who was undefeated, the black horse Yabe, who appeared from thin air, and a fox. Among them, who will win our championship today? You spectators are welcome to bet at our Sifang Spot Casino and choose your favorite champion, the referee said. However, Xing Shu immediately raised his hand and announced that he wanted to surrender. I have no intention of fighting. I'm just an ordinary homebody, and I came here just for fun and not to win. I'm rich and I'm not stupid, so I surrender here. Boss, I'm counting on you, Xing Shu said, and then left. Okay, now that Xing Shu has voluntarily surrendered, now we will enter the Shinran Huang vs Yabe championship directly. Let's wait and see who will win our crown and the first prize, the referee said. Yesterday, I was seriously injured in a fight against the Scorpion King. Although I have recovered a lot, I am only at 70% now. I might be able to kill this person with all my strength and shut his mouth. However, I have to finish it quickly, he added, preparing his fingers. Shinran Huang, 3 moves. If you can defeat me in 3 moves, the championship and your secret are yours, Yabe teased his student. Shinran was surprised by being underestimated. Yabe then asked if he did not want to try, which made Shinran angry. He summoned his dragon spirit and said, since you insist on dying, I won't be polite. He then charged forward, hitting Yabe and causing a strong explosion that destroyed the ground. But Yabe was no longer there. Shinran panicked, wondering where Yabe had gone. He then appeared in a created crater and said, 1 move has been used. Shinran became even more upset and released an empty-handed palm strike. Stupid student, I have taught you many times, but there is always a small deficiency that you never improve for years, Yabe activated a formation. The next moment, the empty-handed palm strike disappeared instantly due to a gap in the formation. That's the Nirvana technique that my master taught. How could he do it? Shinran was confused, and Yabe laughed, pleased to see his student's surprise. This man is so wicked. Why can he easily see through every move I have, as if he knows everything? Shinran thought, while Yabe was eagerly waiting for the next attack. I can only use this technique. My master said not to use it unless I am fighting for my life. But now I don't care about that. Tao of Qi, the stronger you are, the stronger I am. Let's see who can survive until the end, Shinran thought. Oh, Tao of Qi, huh? You can copy all the opponent's skills, the form, and the power. That's good, but try this technique first, Yabe suddenly launched an attack. Shinran was very surprised to see that it was the same empty-handed palm strike as his own. He responded with his own empty-handed palm strike, and the both of empty-handed palm strikes disappeared on their own due to balanced strength. Silly girl, don't you recognize your teacher? Yabe said. Shinran was shocked. 300 years have passed. Have you really been resurrected? She said. Come here, silly girl. Let me see you clearly, Yabe replied. Shinran cried because she missed her teacher so much, and then she punched Yabe in the stomach because the match was still ongoing. Sorry teacher, I didn't mean it that way. I thought I was just dreaming, said Shinran. You tested me by hitting me? I am your real teacher. It hurts you, foolish girl. I just used a little bit of my power. Don't you know me? Yabe replied. Meanwhile, the referee was confused, and Shinran then announced that if she surrendered, Shinran Huang, are you saying the truth? You are the most potential participant this year, asked the referee, and Shinran confirmed it. But if you lose, the audience will lose their money, the referee panicked even more. That has nothing to do with me. I already surrendered, you can do the rest, replied Shinran uncaringly. She then quickly left with Yabe, inviting him to come and visit. Yabe accepted it. Meanwhile, the audience became very angry because they felt they were being played. A big commotion happened, they demanded their money back, and so did Master Shinluo, the arena owner. He then called one of his subordinates, intending to teach Shinran and Yabe a lesson. Meanwhile, Shinran and Yabe finally arrived at Shinran's place, or more precisely, Linfeng's student, because Shinran's name was just a pseudonym. Don't you want to show your face in front of your teacher? Said Yabe, and Linfeng immediately returned to her original form, a beautiful girl. Yabe then asked her to tell everything, how she appeared in the fairy world. Linfeng immediately approached enthusiastically, so enthusiastic that she stumbled and her soulmate/boobs hit Yabei's face. "I haven't seen you for 300 years, you've really grown up," said Yabei. "I haven't shown my woman's clothes to anyone for a long time, so I'm just not used to it," replied Linfeng shyly. "But by the way, after you died that year, the seniors and sisters were very depressed. They tried every way, but still couldn't find a way to bring you back to life, but they didn't give up. And when I almost gave up, I met someone. At that time, I didn't know which world I lived in. When I fought a dragon, a man in a red suit appeared. He persuaded me to spare the dragon's life, and he said he accepted one condition from me. So I told him my story, and he merged the dragon with me, and accidentally I went to the upper world. When I first appeared, I was not used to the life here, and my power was not strong, so I suffered a lot at that time, but fortunately when I found out about the existence of the secret realm of longevity, all my suffering disappeared," said Linfeng, while Yabei stroked her horn. That was briefly how the horn was the result of her merging with a dragon. She was very happy to see her teacher again, but the entrance exploded afterwards, meaning that the pursuers had arrived, making Yabei and Linfeng very surprised. Okay, before Yabei was relaxing with his student, someone came and caused trouble by exploding the door. Linfeng quickly realized that the person who came was from the Shenluo arena, and she immediately transformed into a male form to handle it alone so that Yabei could rest. But that seemed impossible, because the enemy had arrived. "Shinren Huang, you admit defeat in the arena and embarrass the arena. According to the agreement, if you lose in the competition, you must provide all the data sources in your possession and be punished to serve the arena," he said. "Well, it is true that I want to cancel the agreement with you," replied Linfeng. "Really? The head of the arena has long suspected that you would be like this, but after you entered the Shenluo arena, you couldn't get out anymore," said someone, let's just call him Chinli, who then lodged a spell towards Linfeng in the form of a red thread, and Linfeng tried to block it. However, all her efforts failed, and the red thread wrapped around her body, no matter how hard she fought. "I forgot to tell you that once you sign the agreement, you will be bound by the power of the agreement's rules, no matter how strong you are. You cannot free yourself from its shackles. If you admit your mistake now, and surrender the dragon's soul in your body, we may be able to save your life," said Chinli. In response, Linfeng smiled. Of course, she had no intention of surrendering. Chinli became very angry, and then pressed the red thread that was wrapping around Linfeng. Linfeng could not move at all, and it was at that moment that Yabei then moved. He created a shield that blocked the threads, and removed them from Linfeng's body. "A small insect, just because you won the championship, but you don't know how high the sky is. Although these red threads have no rules for you, I have never seen anyone who can break them," said Chinli. "I do have only a little chance of winning against the Void Realm before breaking my body's limit, but you are not my opponent," replied Yabei, who then activated the Destruction Dao ability, which formed a ball of destruction around him, which then lifted the red threads. Chinli then tried to pull them back, intending to destroy them, but it didn't work at all. The threads could not penetrate Yabei's destruction ball, which acted like a protective shield. "Is that all?" "I haven't even started seriously," Yabei laughed, while Chinli was clearly very surprised. Next, Yabei snapped his finger, and the destruction ball flew towards Chinli and hit him directly. "Teacher, you have become stronger than before," Linfeng smiled. "How can there be someone who violates the power of the agreement?" "Who are you?" Chinli said. "If you want to know who I am, come in and see for yourself." Yabei then opened a gap in the void world that swallowed Chinli into it. "Okay, now it's time to take the prize." Yabei then left as if the previous incident was just a passing wind. The scene then shifted to the arena where the audience was still protesting because they did not accept Shinren Huang or Linfeng's surrender. The referee became their target, although he certainly did not know anything. The audience believed he had conspired, no matter what he said, until Yabei and Linfeng arrived. By the way, Shinren Huang is actually Linfeng, so let's just call her that. Upon realizing their arrival, the referee quickly directed the crowd's attention towards them, and all the spectators immediately ran towards them intending to kill Yabei and take the prize. In response, Yabei only looked at them sharply, and they stopped on their own. The aura emanating from Yabei was so terrifying that they became hesitant. Naturally, they pushed each other forward, and someone gave the signal to move forward together. Meanwhile, Yabei took out a vacuum ball, which sucked them all in, and the next moment the ball shrank in Yabei's palm. At the same time, the system sounded off, indicating that the small world had been upgraded to level 1. The system also sent a reward in the form of a level 1 resurrection ability that could control life and death and revive all creatures in the barren world. Knowing this, Yebe became happy because now he could not only extract memories, but also control their lives. In short, he had become a god in his small world, but there were limits to whom he could control. He could only control someone with a lower cultivation level than himself. Yebe quickly took his prize, and the referee officially announced him as the winner, giving him a reward of 100 crystal souls and a bag of secret long-life jade. It was like a key to enter the secret realm itself. Yebe then took his reward, and someone unexpectedly came to disturb him. If you want to take the prize, ask whether the Shenluo arena agrees. You colluded with our participants, killed my right-hand man, and you still want the championship prize? The oldest person in Shenluo arena shouted and attacked, while Yebe just looked at him silently, and a spiritual wave hit him. Someone then appeared, who was none other than Master Mantion Arena. Master Pavilion Hung, you have gone too far. As the person in charge of the Shenluo arena, you did not even admit defeat. Do you want something from a junior? He said. Whoever is stronger has the final say, whether they win or lose, Master Shenluo replied. Well then, let's just fight. The two masters released their auras, which were as strong as expected from the Void Realm, impressing Lin Feng. Are you going to make an enemy out of Shenluo arena for him? Master Heng asked. Master Mantion answered, you are the one who wants to make an enemy out of us. Although my Mantion arena is not as good as before, if provoked like this, I am not afraid to fight to the death. Master Shenluo sighed and unexpectedly left. Master Mantion then told Yebe it was okay, and Yebe thanked him. Along the way, you were troubled to sign the arena agreement, play for Master Shenluo, and suffer many difficulties. This is for you. Yebe gave Lin Feng the secret realm key, but she refused because she no longer needed it. Not only is there a chance of life and death, but other opportunities are also very helpful for your growth. Take it. Yebe insisted, and Lin Feng thanked him. Upon hearing that, Master Mantion was very surprised because Lin Feng had just called Yebe a teacher. Yebe then explained that he was his student in the underworld, and Master Mantion became even more surprised. Your underworld is truly a hidden dragon and crouching tiger. Even your disciple is very powerful. By the way, the captain of the Law Enforcement Bureau told me to let you become the boss, but it hasn't been done yet. Now I officially announce that you are the eldest of our Mantion arena, he said. It's really heavy to suddenly put me in a high position. Master Pavilion Chong really calculated well, Yebe sighed. Our Mantion arena has not had talent like you for a very long time. You destroyed the monster shop and won the championship for our Mantion arena. So, if you are our second eldest, all the resources of our Mantion arena can be used by you. By the way, although this jade token is valuable, there is more than one, and Xinren Huang doesn't need to regret it. There are a total of 100 jade tokens in the secret realm of longevity. Although not many in the demon realm, luck still exists. Tianjia City is located at the intersection of the demon and other realms. It is not under the jurisdiction of any power. There are many treasures inside that are not found elsewhere. It is not impossible to find a jade token. In addition, there is the Tianjia Pavilion inside it. If you are certified as Tianjia, you will have the opportunity to visit there before the secret realm of longevity is opened. Go there if you are interested, said Master Mantion. After that, Yebe went to Tianjia City with Lin Feng. It was a city filled with rules where fighting, flying, and damaging public property were prohibited. Unlike the previous city, which was filled with demon races, there were many different races in Tianjia City. At first glance, it seemed like a very peaceful city, but there was a big loophole in the big rules. On a sunny day, a pickpocketing incident occurred where the victim was none other than Xing Shu. He was very angry because it was a valuable ring, and he intended to attack the pickpocket. Unfortunately, he was struck by thunder due to the power of the rules in Tianjia City, and he was knocked out. He was clearly very disappointed because his item was stolen. Shortly after, Yebe, who happened to be nearby, approached Xing Shu. Xing Shu was very surprised because the world was so small, and Lin Feng immediately kicked him away from Yebe. Yebe then asked him why he could be in Tianjia City, and Xing Shu answered that he was asked by his family to participate in an auction. Since Yebe also planned to go there, he invited Xing Shu to go with him out of pity. Xing Shu cried with emotion because his boss was so understanding, and then Lin Feng immediately kicked him again when he tried to hug Yebe. Long story short, they finally arrived at the auction place. It looks like an ordinary house from the outside, but actually it's very luxurious inside. The floor is made of high-quality spiritual stone, and the seats are made of rare natural wood, Xing Shu said.